Okay, we're back. Let's go ahead and this is modeling a body, but we're going to be modeling a hand with this series. And we've got the hand fingers attached and merged all the vertices, and we've got everything lined up perfectly with the mesh, with the other top view of the hand that I gave you guys. What I want to do is I want to do a couple cleanup things here. So let's go ahead and we want to delete by type history. We can go to edit, delete by type history, or we can go in here to the shelf under polymodeling, and we've got this icon, basically means delete history. Now this is the history that we have so far right on this side, inputs. So we want to go ahead and delete the history. You can see now that the history is now deleted. Right, next thing we're going to do is we want to make sure that shading X-ray is off so we can see exactly what we're doing. If we have it on, we can see through, and it's kind of a problem. It is grayed out back here. And if you like to work that way, that is fine. Okay, but I don't want to see the back, so I'm going to go ahead and go to shading and click off X-ray. And so next thing I'm going to do is right click over the object and go to edge mode, double click on the edge, and it should go all the way around. If you don't see that going all the way around, that makes me think that you have a break. That means the vertices are not merged together. So you'll have to go back and select all the vertices and make sure they're merged together properly. Okay? So this means you're going to have to go into perspective mode and merge those, because you do not want to just marquee select them and merge them from the top view, otherwise you'll merge those together. Okay? Be careful what you're doing. Let's go to the top view, right click over this edge, double click on it, and we're going to go ahead and do a Control E. That allows us to move this back. So Control E and then W, and then we'll move this back. Okay? You'll take your time in making sure all the vertices are moved in the proper alignment. So again, I'm just marquee selecting them. I'm not worried about the back. I really am not. So I'm just going to just kind of move these along. Just make sure you marquee select them, because you are actually selecting them, all of them, right? If you marquee select it. Okay, I hit the 4 key. I'm going to hit the 5 key again. And move these and just kind of place them directly. We're just following the top now. Not really worried about the bottom. Okay. We're just making sure the top is all set. Okay, the reason why I don't use snap, because they'll snap them all the points together, and I don't want to do that. Okay. Alright, let's go in here and go to edge mode. And we want to go ahead and do a Control E and then W, and we'll move that back. Again, we will continue doing the vertex, moving the vertices around. Alright. Okay, this gets a little tricky in here. It's not impossible, but it's a little trickier. So we're going to concentrate on just doing the top part. So the idea is to go ahead and we're going to double click on it so we get the edge, and we're just going to not extrude certain parts, especially when it comes to a corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the Control key down and marquee select those two here and those two here. Okay? Right. So we keep the rest of them. So just those two and those two. Okay, because we have a break on our mesh. Okay, basically what it's doing is taking all these vertices here, and we're breaking these two and creating a quadrangle here, which means it brings it down so we have fewer polygons. Okay, which is nice. So let's go ahead and do a Control E. Alright, and W and move that back. Okay. Zoom in, right click, just kind of move these vertices around a little bit, like that. Again, just kind of seeing where these are. Okay. And this one here is going to go way over here, like that. Okay. Alright, and we're going to tie those together. Alright, so we're not going to do that right now, but we will. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to move that over here like that. Okay, we're not going to select them together just yet. And I'm going to take this guy and move that where it needs to be, and this guy move that where it needs to be, like that. Okay. Alright, cool. So what we need to do now is go to edge mode. Okay. I'm going to select that edge, hit the Q key, shift select this edge, shift select this edge, and shift select this edge. Okay. And we are going to go rotate around so we can see the bottom. Okay. I'm assuming that's happening at the bottom as well. It is. Look at that. So you can see that it's happening at the bottom. You're only going to have the top view, but if you do exactly what I'm asking you to do, everything will be just fine. So what I'm going to do is those two are selected, and I just showed you that the bottom two are selected. Yep. Okay. So you should be good. And we'll do Control E and A W and move that back, just about like that. Okay. So to make this right, there's a couple things we need to do. Okay. So we need to go to vertex mode, and notice that if we were to place all these together, okay, right, and notice that I'm marquee selecting all this stuff. Right? If I don't marquee select it, if I move that vertex around, if I hit the 4 key, you notice that it leaves the other one behind it. Okay? Right. So I want to make sure I marquee select that. Okay, this is important. Move that over like that a little bit. Move this over like this a little bit. And we have these separate, meaning that these are 3. Click off of here. Just like that guy. Okay, so kind of make it look like that. Alright, so moving that over here like that, moving this over here like that, and then moving this over here like that. Okay, so basically I'm going to go ahead and turn off. This makes things a little bit crazy here, but what we're going to do is I'm going to turn my reference off, and I'm just going to go to the perspective mode because this is how I need to work. Okay. And notice we got some janky things going on here. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to have these points together. Okay. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these 2 points here. Okay, those 2 points. I'm going to merge those together. So edit mesh, merge to center. Okay, I'm going to do that for the outside pieces here, the top. I'm going to hit the G key, and I'm going to rotate around so we see the bottom. Select that, those two, and hit the G key. I'm going to go to the bottom here, select those two, hit the G key. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select all of these, okay, and hit the G key, and then move it down. We're going to snap it, so I'm going to hold the V key down and snap it to those, right? So these are a little bit harder to do, so I'm going to go underneath here, select these on the top, okay, and I'm going to go into edit mesh and merge to center. Okay, I'm going to hold the V key down and snap it to the top there like that, and these guys underneath I'm going to select. Okay, hold down the space bar, go to edit mesh, merge to center. And I'm going to go in here and hold the V key down and snap it to that one. Okay. Now we got one left to do here. This guy right here, I'm rotating around, selecting those, and holding down the spacebar, go to Edit Mesh and merge the center. Select that vertex, which is selected already, and hold the V key down, V as in Victor, and snap it. There we go. So the thing is, these aren't quite ready yet. So I'm going to marquee select all those, okay? And I'm going to merge the center. Edit, merge the center. And then I'm going to rotate and marquee select that. You can see it looks like a diamond, but it really isn't. It's a quadrangle. And hit the G key. Select this guy right here. Looks like a triangle. Goes to a triangle, but it's a quadrangle. And hit the G key. Okay. Right. And I'm going to select this guy right here. And hit the G key. And here, hit the G key. Okay, so those are all done. Right. Okie dokie. So if I were to take this, select it, it got a lot of history again. So I'm gonna want to go in here and delete the history. Okay, select this guy right there. And if I were to put this in a layer, and I bring my hand back, I got my fingers here. Let me put those in a layer. There we go. And I want to open up the hand again. We notice that there's no edge that goes from here to here. If you notice that top of the hand, and it goes, and what I have is a edge that goes across here. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off for a second and bring my fingers back again, and we've got to delete that edge up there. Okay, so I'm going to go right click over here and go to edge mode, click on the edge, don't need it, make sure I don't select any other edges, and hit the delete key. Alright, so I'm going to click on that edge right there, okay, and hit the delete key. Alright, very good. And go to the bottom, do the same thing, select that edge, delete key, select that edge, delete key. Great. So now we got all quadrangles. We can take a look at what it looks like so far. Right click over and go to selection mode, hit the 3 key, and there we go. So far so good. We'll make adjustments later. We'll shape it and form it the way we want it. But right now we're just going to continue following what we have so far. Okay, that's very important. Alright, so let's go back to object mode, go to the top view, and let's take a look at our hand still. Okay, so we've done a pretty good job so far. Let me get this thumb out of the way. This is kind of in the way now. I want to be able to see what's happening here with the thumb. Okay, that's important. Just move the thumb away, and we're going to continue extruding. Now notice this here is where the thumb's connecting, and so we've got to make some adjustments here for this to work. Okay, all right. So it's important that we get all that in there. So I'm going to click on this and go to selection mode, and we're going to extrude this back. So I'm going to select the edge, and we're going to give it an extrude. So Control E and then W, move that back. Okay, I'm just going to move it back right about there. I'm going to zoom in and right click over this and go to vertex mode. I'm just going to move these vertices, marquee select. I marquee select every single time. And sometimes I move that around just to make sure it's correct, in the correct position it needs to be in. And this one is kind of a strange bird right here. Okay, you can see that I moved that one, but this one, where does this one go? Right? That's kind of a strange part right here. So I'm going to leave that where that is, and this needs to go somewhere right here. Okay, you can see that I've got kind of something missing right there. Normally it should go like right here like that. Okay, so so if we follow that, that goes somewhere over here, and I can't really tell where it's going because of the shadow. Okay, so we're going to stop right here, and we'll come back with the next video.